everybody. Thank you for checking out this episode of Raised on the Radio. I am one half of this show. I am Colt Brocado. My good friend Patrick Blair in Zoom land. As usual, we did not get to record last week, which is the first week in a while. That was kind of on me, kind of on my parents. I'm going to blame them because it can't be my fault. But
Yeah,
my
I don't know how
parents,
it's your fault.
yeah, my parents both got COVID and they got them they tested positive like several days apart. And which, I mean, it's COVID. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. However, my mom watches my son, so that's my babysitter. And then not only when my mom's quarantine ended, but my dad's quarantine was still going. So they were like on opposite sides of the house, Lysoling everything, wearing masks constantly. And me and my wife were having to I would work the first half of the day and then come home, and then she would leave and go work the second half of the day. And it was a disaster.
So they didn't get anyone else sick?
No, they didn't, luckily. And somehow this is the first time that either one of them has gotten COVID.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the only person I know now that hasn't had COVID. I don't know your parents, obviously, but
right.
Someone who, so some people, they were at my son's birthday party recently. Mom got it. Son got it, bad. We were actually, dude, it's just a guy who cuts my hair, goes to Florida. And it was funny because I got a haircut before he left. And I just joked with him. I was like, it's the Wild West out there still, man. Good luck. And I was just joking. Yeah. I would go to Florida. I don't give a fuck. But he went and everyone got sick. Everyone.
Oh, man.
Everyone. He didn't. But he's cut my hair. I'm like, you sure, dude? You sure? But I don't care. It's whatever. But I feel like I'm the only one that has not had it.
Do you feel like you're at a point now where it's just whatever? Like if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And at this point, we just kind of have to roll with the punches and, just kind of see what happens. The weird thing is I got it at the beginning of all this. And so apparently there's been 4 strains since I had it, and all of them affect people differently and all that kind of stuff. It's so weird.
Yeah.
When was the last time you seen a person get it and lose smell and taste and stuff? Was that just the first strain? I
have no idea. I don't know.
It's weird, dude.
Are people dying anymore?
I don't know.
I know I saw Fauci on TV the other day talking about you should still wear a mask inside. I was kind of like, dude, you need to beat it.
Isn't he retiring soon? Didn't he announce that he's retiring?
I don't know. He should. But I'm not going to speak poorly about him. Enough about COVID. Well, I'm glad your parents okay now?
Yes, everything's good. Yeah.
Okay, good.
But my wife hasn't had it either. She's never had it, and she was, in the house when I had it. So she could be asymptomatic also, or just got lucky enough that she hasn't gotten it. But she works in the medical field just like your wife does.
Yeah, I don't know how we haven't had it. I don't know how my wife hasn't had it.
Yeah, that's insane.
She has defied all science, logic, arguments, any criticism anyone's ever had about any of it. She has defied it. It's pretty crazy. Or she could have had it and didn't know, and there you go. But who knows? It was too late to find out. So,
yeah,
who's not okay?
Okay, huh? What do you mean?
Because my football season's gonna suck for at least 6 games.
Well, you've known and you've talked about it for weeks and weeks that Jacoby Brissett is your guy.
I'm Team Jacoby, man. I already got my jersey.
And maybe he's your guy for 6 weeks. And do you think the 6 weeks is going to stick? Is that a for sure ruling now, or are they still working on it?
Well, it's what the judge ruled, and the NFL is appealing because they want it to be more. So then the Players Association gets to come back and say, no, it's 6. Yeah, so the Players Association is going to stick up for them and, at least keep it at 6. The NFL has set this precedent that they're the law and they want to protect the shield. And if you look at some of the other suspensions and what they were for, and have you ever read their conduct policy? Yeah, you should read it because the verbiage of it is, I find it to be interesting because this suspension is the first of its kind. Meaning in the conduct policy, it says they will not tolerate domestic abuse or sexual abuse of the violent kind. Okay. Well, he has not been accused of anything violent And he has not, and that's the other thing, has not been proven to have done anything wrong necessarily. He's settled in civil court, you know.
Is it considered sexual abuse?
Sexual misconduct, I guess, is the word that's,
Okay, I was going to say,
and that's the other thing
misconduct is the
too.
word I
Like
was
I've
thinking
seen
about.
some people post, and forgive me, I misspoke. I've seen some people post sexual abuse or sexual assault, and I'm like, no. He hasn't been accused of sexual assault. He's been accused of sexual misconduct, but it's the first of its kind. So I think the judge who ruled based on that fact, not that fact alone, but I think that fact had a lot to do with the ruling. I, again, it's this conversation. We have to talk about it because A, I'm a Browns fan, and B, everyone's talking about it, and we talk about sports. But like, we all just need to shut the fuck up. None of us were there. We don't know anything.
Right.
You know, you either support the Browns or you don't. I think at the end of the day, that's the larger part of the question.
Yeah.
And this goes to fans and non-fans. So like, fans, do you still support them with or without Deshaun Watson? Sorry, everyone. Right now, I support them with or without him. If he's my quarterback, right now, I support the team. Do I think he's a little bit creepy? Do I think he has a fetish? Do I think he has a problem that probably needs to be fixed? If all of what he has been accused of is true, absolutely. And I don't condone it. Right.
I mean, at this point, it's still all accusations, and nothing has been proven, but something has had to have gone on.
But that's the thing. I'm not celebrating the guy.
Right. Yeah.
I'm celebrating my team. Okay. Yeah. Now, by celebrating the team, do I celebrate the guy? People will make that argument to say, yes, I do. But that's the other thing. Forget about me. I'm a fan. Non-fans, you get to decide, do you support what the Browns have done by signing this guy? And you have to decide, do you support the team for bringing in a guy who all along has denied wrongdoing, up to this point, still has denied it, has accepted his suspension, and is about to move on with his life? Do you accept that? If you don't, then don't watch him. But to sit there and act like you know what happened, and act like you know what level of suspension he should have gotten, and act like you know anything else about the situation, you don't. None of us do.
Right.
I found it so funny. Do you know who Sarah Spain is?
I know that name. Why?
She works for ESPN. She's on some of the like debate shows. And
okay.
Did you see the video floating around of his day at camp, and like he was signing autographs and he was just getting mobbed? Deshaun Watson. Oh, you didn't see that video?
No.
It went viral, dude. People were like, what in the fuck is wrong with people in Cleveland? And it's like, hey, well, look, we have short-term memory. Okay. We want to win. Now, am I saying all of the fans there that were trying to get an autograph think like I do, where it's like, logically speaking, we don't know if he's guilty, so maybe we should just shut the fuck up until no. I think they're just rabid fans who wanted to get a piece of the dude, right? Yeah. A piece of their quarterback. But so anyway, she posted a video, and I think she just said something like, "This is gross." Now, she has a tendency to do this, and I had to look at the comments. So I looked at the comments, and then like it took a while, but I found ones of people reposting her tweets where she was actively rooting for Ben Roethlisberger during a game.
Oh, whoa.
Okay. Now, I'm just saying, a little bit hypocritical. For those that don't know, Ben fondled some girls. We'll just say that.
Yeah. Right.
Allegedly. Did he ever get proven guilty? Nothing ever happened to him, right?
I don't think so.
But also, he's going to go to the Hall of Fame. But so people retweeted that, and they were like, hey, isn't this you? Wasn't this just like 2 years ago? You were rooting for a guy who's been accused of sexual assault, not sexual misconduct. Like, this guy raped me in a bathroom at a nightclub. So again, we're spinning our wheels, man. We don't know what happened. It's just a matter of, do you support the overall, sort of the bigger picture of what's happening, which is he still has an employer, and his employer has an employer, kind of, if you will. That's really what you need to pay attention to, not Deshaun. No one knows what Deshaun did. We weren't there, and we're probably never going to know.
Have the Cleveland Browns come out and spoke about this really?
I mean, they have several times, but it's been very cryptic and, generic. It's been what you would have expected.
Yeah. I just wonder, like, have they made a statement saying we fully back Deshaun Watson or something like that? Or can they not really say that because if, it comes out and he is charged, then they look bad?
No, I mean, they've said, well, dude, I think the contract he got kind of says that.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean,
yeah.
So, again, I think the point at this point, it's just like, do you support the Browns or not? And I think a lot of people will not. And I think once the dude plays, I go back to what I told you a couple weeks ago, where, I worry about the capacity that he has as an individual and a human being to mentally deal with this every week while he's playing.
Yeah.
His first game back is going to be against the motherfucking Ravens, dude.
Right.
Like, that's prime time right there.
Yeah.
That's you and Lamar Jackson. That's like, it doesn't get any more prime time than that for the Browns.
Right.
The only thing that would have been more, I guess at this point, more prime time would be, we're going to go to Cincinnati and play Joe Burrow. Or if Big Ben was still playing, we got to go to Pittsburgh and play Big Ben. Something like that.
Yeah.
So that's as prime time as it gets. Have you seen their schedule for the first 6 games?
Yeah, I don't remember who they were, but I did see it.
So if Jacoby plays half of what he has in his career, they should enter Deshaun's first game with a winning record.
Okay.
That's a big if.
Yeah.
But they have Carolina week 1. Then they have the Jets. There's the Steelers mixed in there. They have the Patriots and the Chargers, which I don't love.
It's going to be a rough one. Both of those.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't know. The Patriots, I don't worry about too much. I think they can. Well, look, they should have beat the Chargers last season. They had the only game up until week 12 or whatever it was that I think they truly lost, meaning the other team was just better. They just wiped them off the field, was Arizona. Everyone up to that point, I was like, we were in the game and we had a chance to win. Every single one of them. Every single one of the losses. But anyway, it's ancient history at this point.
Speaking of Arizona, dude, the contract that Kyler Murray got,
well,
wasn't it for like 8 years or something?
Yeah. Well, look, man, I like him, but will they be able to build around him? That's going to be the biggest thing.
Right.
I would say this at the very least. With a guy like that, they have to take the approach that Cincinnati did, where Cincinnati got significantly better from Joe Burrow's first year up till last season, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously his first season, he got destroyed. And, by the way, tore his ACL.
Correct.
Was it ACL or MCL? ACL, right?
I think it was ACL.
And I think I even remember us talking about it. I was like, that guy's going to get killed. His offensive line is no good. Like, he's just getting hit way too much. So you need to take that approach. Your first approach is protect your biggest asset, which is your quarterback. So you make sure that your offensive line is the shit. Right. Protect that guy. And then everything else will sort of fall in its place through draft picks and free agency, affordable free agency. That's what I'm saying about Arizona. I'm like, I don't know if they necessarily build. I don't know if they have the capacity to do that, but
no, I mean, that's one thing. Like, when it comes to Brady, we've talked about Brady a million times. I'm not the biggest fan of Brady. I respect what he's done, but I'm not really a fan. But that's always what they say, right? Is that he always takes a cut to have other players, like, you know what I mean, to create space to be able to pay other players. Now, he's also the one that helps bring in like all-star players too, which I mean, 6 of one, half a dozen the other, but still, I mean, he is one of those guys that they look at and say, well, he doesn't get paid what he could be paid. Like, he's not making, a Dak Prescott or a Kyler Murray contract or a Deshaun Watson contract, right? So, I mean, not to shift gears too much also about Brady, though. Have you seen this whole tampering thing with Brady?
What?
This whole tampering thing with Brady?
The fuck does that even mean?
The Dolphins lost like a first round pick and something else. And I think got fined also because they were tampering with Tom Brady while he was with the Patriots and while he was with the Bucks.
Oh yeah, I saw, dude.
I don't even understand this. What I mean, so is it in a contract that states that if you're with a team, another team cannot contact you or talk to you about anything?
Like about your existing contract?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what's happening
Well,
here.
they definitely can't talk to you. They have to talk. That's why you have agents. So no, they can't talk to him directly.
Right. Well, I mean, they're saying that Tom Brady's not going to get in trouble for anything, but that it's a bad look on him. But I think Sean Payton's thrown into this too.
Which believe me, I saw the headline, but
because I mean, as of the end of last season, when Brady retired, the plan was for him to come back and play for Miami, right? And Sean Payton was going to be the coach, and that all fell through. And now Brady came back, and now Bruce Arians all of a sudden goes up to the upper box, and he's not the coach anymore. Like, there's a lot of fishy stuff going on around there.
There usually is some fuckery surrounding Tom Brady, yes. I think it's safe to say at this point, you know, I don't know. I saw the headline, but I saw his name and I right past it. Okay. I just do not care. I don't.
Right.
Sorry.
Well, anyways, back to Deshaun Watson. As far as that goes, 6 games, Browns could be very lucky, especially if he comes out guns blazing and plays well. If he is running off of a winning record as well, you know, when he first comes in, we'll see. But we're also talking about a quarterback who didn't play last year.
Yeah. I mean, I don't worry about him physically. I don't worry about his skills necessarily. I just worry about psychologically and mentally having to deal with the inevitable, you know, just backlash and scrutiny and criticism and just whatever. I mean, call it what you want, ridicule. I mean, it all applies. I worry about that. You know, I don't know enough about him, meaning like when he was with the Texans, I didn't pay attention that much, you know? Mm-hmm. So but I'll tell you something. So, and this was sort of an eye-opening thing for me. So I know someone that went to Clemson, huge Clemson football fan from the area. Okay. Not like, oh, I'm from Missouri and I go to Clemson. No, I grew up 10 miles away from Clemson, was their dream to go to Clemson. That's where they went. So I was talking to them and I was just like, hey, give me your thoughts. I know Deshaun's your guy and you from the beginning have kind of been like, you know, this is not the guy that I saw in college. But anyway, he said like, and this is something I didn't know. And I haven't even Googled it to verify it, but I just found it interesting. And it goes to like I said, the mental capacity and just the overall. So anyway, he said that, you know, at Clemson, he had this like long-term girlfriend, was always in the community doing things, was just, you know, the all-American guy. And then when he got signed by Houston, the first public thing ever said about him is that he starts hanging out with a porn star, you know, which now, dude, I don't care. You want to hang out with porn stars? I say, go do it. You know what I'm saying? I say, get it in, whatever. But if you are this guy who was like this all-American, like good boy, and all of a sudden you're cruising with porn stars, it is going to throw people off a little bit. So from that person's perspective, I understood the how alarming that was, right? Mm-hmm. But I also didn't know that. So that made me go, oh, wow, kind of interesting to know, considering what's come out now, you know?
But if you knew about it at the time, you probably wouldn't have thought anything. You probably would have just been like, good for him, whatever. Yeah.
You know, the porn star. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think that really means much as far as this all goes. Like I can see how you can put them together, but I doubt it. I doubt they go together at all.
I'm not connecting those dots, but my point of telling you that story is that people have, are, and will. Right. Mm-hmm. So I find the whole thing interesting too. Did you also hear, the attorney for the individuals who are suing Deshaun Watson. Now, again, this is all just kind of, okay, is it a coincidence? But he lives like 10 minutes away from the owner of the Texans.
Okay.
So like Deshaun Watson requests a trade, the Texans deny, he sits out, and then all of a sudden he's being sued by an attorney that lives 10 minutes away from the owner who's pissed off at Deshaun Watson. The attorney's he's come out and been like, I don't know the owner of the Texans. I've never spoken to them. If you put them in a room with me, I wouldn't know who they were.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I believe that. You're a high profile prosecuting attorney who lives in an affluent neighborhood in Houston by the owner of the Texans, and you don't know who they are. I don't know about that. That's a little bit weird to me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you know them personally and you go to dinner 5 times a week at their house, but I'm saying you know who they are.
Yeah.
So that was another interesting thing. The whole thing is screwy, dude. So again, I, as a Browns fan right now, am Team Browns, right?
Mm-hmm.
I support the Browns. And look, if by week 8 he's been playing and something comes out, we have an overwhelming burden of proof that he did something wrong, I'll be the first one to say, put Jacoby back in.
Yeah.
You know?
Which, I mean, I bet something in the back of Jacoby's head's probably saying, I hope it gets extended, because like it, but I don't know. He's kind of had his shot. So I don't know if
he's had a shot numerous times.
I mean, I guess he's still got a chance to prove himself again, but I don't know.
Well, let me just say this. He has one hell of an offense to work with.
Yeah.
Probably the best running game in the NFL. New addition in Amari Cooper. Probably 2 of the best tight ends in the NFL. Good offensive line. He's got everything he needs to be successful.
If they could just get OBJ back, you guys would be set.
Nope. I'm good. No thanks. Don't want him. Don't care. He's got everything he needs. Oh, by the way, an offensive play caller who will call plays in your favor. You know, he won't put you at risk if he doesn't have to, you know?
Okay.
And that was the thing with Baker that I think a lot of people overlooked is the plays where he did poorly was when he had to step outside of what the play was or the play call was, and was, now I get elite guys when they're under pressure, they make plays. I understand. And Baker did too. But the majority of the time when you saw him making mistakes, it was when he was forced to make plays himself. And he played hero ball because he likes to win and he likes to be a competitor. He's not.
Does that look bad on the team? Like for the play, or for the O-line, you know, falling, I guess.
I mean, the O-line can't protect you 100% of the time.
True.
Sometimes you're going to have to make a decision. Are you going to play hero ball or are you going to throw the ball away? You know?
Yeah.
Baker, more often than not, would try to make the play himself.
Mm-hmm.
It's how he got hurt. He threw an interception and he tried to make a tackle. Dude, what are you doing? I get it. You're a gamer. You want to make up for your mistake, but it's ultimately what led us to this point. Week 2, he throws an interception against the Texans, ironically enough, gets hurt making a tackle, and here we are. So
you still think he's the guy week 1 for Carolina? I haven't heard anything specific, but then again, I haven't heard Sam Darnold's name in a while.
Yeah, I think he's the guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And people can post all the out of context videos they want of him making mistakes in scrimmage. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. He's going to be the guy. He's going to be the guy. Well, is he healthy? Is he 100%? All things point to he is. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, at the end of the day, none of us know. None of us know. So
and probably are never going to know.
No, like I said, unless there's an overwhelming burden of proof of his wrongdoing, it's going to be one of those situations where it's like, which doesn't happen these days, but he's innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's not the way we work anymore. But and I find it funny too, because and I know it's probably time to move on, but I saw someone post that, they posted suspensions of players and the amount of games they got for their said situation. And then they said Deshaun Watson, sexual assault. And I'm again, he was never accused of sexual assault. But also, it just goes to show you the time that we're living in now, where you can just say something about someone and an overwhelming majority are going to just believe it because you said it. And
and if you're like us and you're on the outside looking in, you can't say anything different, because then you look like you're taking up for the guy, even if, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
if it seems like we're taking up for Deshaun Watson, but we're really not. We're just saying that there's no undeniable proof that says that this happened. You're just taking it on, the fact that these people said it.
I wanted to say to the person that said that, well, I could tell people that you hit me in the balls with a shovel, and I'm not going to have any proof of that. But because I said it, they're going to be sending my balls get well cards.
I think I just found the title for our episode.
Just the way we live. Plaxico Burress only got 4 games for when he shot himself in the leg.
I wonder what that was considered. Like, what kind of misconduct was that considered?
Well, it was an illegal weapon. That wasn't a registered weapon. So,
okay.
But people try to show sympathy. Like, well, he shot himself. I'm like, okay, but again, I don't know.
The other thing about that too is that it was outside of the NFL. I think it makes it worse that it's inside the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything against Deshaun Watson is attached to the NFL as well, and attached to a lot of people that are involved with the NFL.
In a way.
Yeah. Burris's thing was more just illegal, but it was outside of the NFL.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't the majority of these women, weren't they contacted by Deshaun? Like, the team didn't set it up.
Oh, is that how it worked? I thought they were actually
I think he was going on Instagram and sending people DMs being like, oh, I need to fact check that. And we can come back to that next week. But I think
we
that's
may
what was
need to
going
fact
on.
check that. Yeah. I don't know
No,
about.
I said it. It's true.
I don't know about him. Who Instagrams masseuses to just have them? I don't know.
High-powered NFL quarterbacks. I don't know.
It still seems very unprofessional.
That's the whole point. That's what I'm saying. That's why the behavior is kind of gross. Not kind of. That's why the behavior is gross to people, because it's like, okay, well, why are you doing that?
Right.
And it goes back to what I said however many episodes ago. Like, why so many, dude? Why are so many saying the same thing? Are they all conspiring against you? Maybe. Maybe not. It just seems odd.
There is the whole, there's money involved in this thing, and
it's all money.
Even if you were a masseuse that did massage him at some point and nothing weird happened, it's, pretty easy to just jump on the bandwagon and say they did this. Now, if he did do this, fuck that guy. However, we don't know. We're probably never going to know.
It's a revolving door of bags of money. That's all it is.
Yep.
But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, before we get too far away from football.
Yeah.
I was just going to bring up the XFL and wondering if you're curious at all, or if you're interested at all.
So glad you asked. I'm in.
Cool.
I'm in. Now.
But wait.
Under this condition.
Before you answer that, were you in before?
Like,
as in last season?
Before COVID?
Yes. Were you in then?
Yeah.
Did you watch?
I watched like 4 games probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, no. I got the colors on now. I'm in under one condition. If you tailgate before the games and have any type of sign or symbolism related to Stan Kroenke,
I knew you were going to say that.
you're going to be arrested. If you make it into the stadium with some sort of sign or anything related to Stan Kroenke, you're getting kicked out and you're getting arrested. If you are on social media after every game saying fuck Stan Kroenke, you're getting booted off that social media account and you're not allowed to go to a game ever. Fair? I think it's fair.
At this point, yes.
Thank
I think
you.
you were a little
I
think you were a little premature before, because
holy shit, was I?
you were, because
people had Stan Kroenke dolls on nooses.
I know. We talked about that on the show, and I think you were a little premature in how mad you were about that, though, just because we're talking about a St. Louis football team at that point, and we hadn't really had one since the Rams left. Okay. Now there's been a breathing period, and it's like, Stan Kroenke who?
There was a breathing period before the Battlehawks got here.
But not where we had a football team.
There was football. Again, if you have a sign, you're getting arrested.
Okay.
Just leave them at home. I'm in.
Well, under
those conditions.
I have the XFL teams hub. So we've got.
So wait, hold on. Before you tell me, are they bringing back all of the original teams?
I don't know. No, because I think they got rid of 2 of them and put in new teams. So Arlington, do you know Bob Stoops? Do you know that name? That's their head coach.
Former coach of Oklahoma. I thought he coached one of the XFL teams previously.
Maybe he did.
I want to say he did.
Now, Wade Phillips, he was I think he was the defense coordinator for Denver.
Who?
Wade Phillips.
Yeah. Cowboys too.
Yeah, he's going to be coaching Houston.
Oh, shit.
We got Las Vegas. That's a new team. They didn't have one before. Rod Woodson.
What? Are you serious? He's the head coach?
Yeah. You're going to have to probably go through who these guys are. I'm not as much in. Was he a college coach or?
Oh, my God. Rod Woodson's a Hall of Famer, dude.
Let's see. Orlando, which Orlando didn't have a team before either. Terrell Buckley is going to be their coach.
Okay.
Hines Ward is coaching San Antonio.
Hines Ward?
Yes.
Holy shit. I really like this.
Seattle, Jim Haslett.
Okay.
And then in St. Louis is Anthony Becht.
So that's the coach we had, right?
That I don't know for sure.
Okay, keep going.
The last one we've got is Washington, D.C., and Reggie Barlow is the coach for them. So there's only 8 teams. Now, I don't know if they're going to expand outside of that, but I know they got rid of a team or 2 and put in like Las Vegas and Orlando.
Okay.
Which makes sense because, they're big markets that they didn't have before, and they were able to scope out the markets that they had before that didn't do well.
Right.
As far as ticket sales go and all that. So, there's a lot of big names that are really smart about this kind of stuff that is taking over this whole shebang, and they're trying to use this as, I think, like a not a training camp. What's the word I'm looking for? But NFL can pick from the XFL basically.
Yeah.
Which they did before. I think was it PJ Walker?
Mm-hmm.
He was the Roughnecks, I think, quarterback, and he's still with Carolina, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
Pretty sure. I don't know about our guy, Teamu. He was with Kansas City for a minute, but I don't know if he still is or not.
I want to say that coach was the coach last time, but who knows?
He may have been.
Well, good for them. Like I said, Stan Kroenke, move on.
Yeah.
People of St. Louis, move on. Time to move on. Have we talked since I went to 3 Days Grace and Wage War?
No.
Yeah. The factory's the shit.
I figured you were going to say that because I've heard a lot of musicians say that.
And I don't know if it has anything to do with being a musician. I just think it's the shit.
Like, okay, like sound wise.
Shit.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the biggest part from a musician standpoint, I think.
I mean, fine, but yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I'd have to play there and be on stage and hear the
So,
stage sound.
so there's no other venue like in St. Louis that's comparable to.
The pageant.
Is okay.
Yeah, I mean I mean I think it's bigger, but yeah, no, it has to be bigger. I don't know. It doesn't have like the balcony though. Doesn't it have a balcony? I don't remember. Anyway, it was a great show. That's a great place. You need to go.
Who owns the factory?
No idea.
Because I mean
No
it
idea.
just
Yeah.
popped up last year, and like they're pulling everybody. Like
Well,
huge comedians and stuff are playing there.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. What's weird though is that everything around it on that side is closing. It's like the outlet mall closed, so there's nothing
Yeah,
there.
I
It's
did.
like
I
the
did
only
see that.
thing
I
there.
wonder why. Well, Top Golf is right there, isn't it? Isn't that like
Nah,
across?
Top Golf's like further back on the highway.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And
But
then
yeah,
all
no,
the restaurants and anywhere you would want to go eat are on the other side. So I mean
yeah.
hey, it's not bad. I mean, you got to drive less than a mile to go get food or go to a bar, but I mean, yeah, it's the shit. And Wage War was fucking dude.
Is that your
That
first
band,
time seeing Wage War?
no, no,
Oh, okay.
they're gonna blow up. They're gonna blow up.
Oh, you don't think they have? I thought.
Well, I mean, I think they have, but I think they're gonna blow up in a like rock radio sort of like transition to active rock radio type way, like 3 Days Grace has always been.
Yeah. So how was 3 Days Grace? Did you stay for that whole
I
set?
did. It was good. The singer was hammered,
Oh, really?
hammered, but he sang well. You couldn't tell until he tried to speak, and then I was like, "Oh, homeboys had a few."
Yeah.
Oh, but no, it was good. They were good.
Okay. I've always said. I mean, I probably butchered this because I've said it so many times, but I liked My Darkest Days. I was a fan of that band with him as that lead singer.
Yeah,
When he came over and took over with 3 Days Grace after Adam left, I wasn't a fan because I think he was trying to mimic Adam, which he couldn't do.
I don't know if anyone can.
And
We've already talked about it.
right. And it took a while. But now I think he's made, he is the front man for that band. And I think he's figured out a way to make it work.
I would agree. I mean, that's a huge place, and they filled that place. And
well, I mean, just the name 3 Days Grace carries a hell of a lot of weight.
they have so many songs that people know. So
Yeah.
like, he doesn't have to sound like that dude. Just sing them well enough for people not to go, "Oh, I could do better than that," and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's what we talked about with, I think it was last episode. We were talking about like Bon Jovi, how his voice is shot. And, a lot of other frontmen for bands where they just don't sound good anymore. They're too old, or, their voices are shot or whatever. And like I had mentioned, like, does it matter? Because if you're going to watch a band that has all these hits, people are there to scream the lyrics to their favorite songs. They're not so much worried about what the lead singer sounds like.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Now, I mean, if it's like legit clear, like, dude, he sounds awful, then I get it. But on the other hand, the majority of people that are going in there aren't really listening for that. I don't think. I think they're just listening for the songs, and they want to belt it out.
I agree, but you can't go see Guns N' Roses and like Axl be being like, she's got eyes, but it seems to me like, you can't sing it like that. You have to, like, it has to be something close to the original.
Right.
Bon Jovi's like, "Whoa, we're halfway there." Like, you gotta no.
I don't know, but could he? He could get away with that.
No,
I think.
dude. No, dude. It's gotta be. I mean, well, not with me, but he probably could. Yes, he probably could get.
You think he's got some backup singers that are help that out a lot?
Of course. Of course. I just sent this to a couple people. Are you familiar with the band Dayseeker?
I know of them, but I don't know any songs off the top of my head.
So they're kind of like blowing up on like Sirius Octane and those channels like that. They have a few songs that I really like, but they Octane does these videos where they have the bands in studio, and they do these live performances, and theirs was just riddled with so much fake shit. And I was like, fuck, man, I really love this song, but it was just too much. It was too many tracks. Like the vocals didn't, at times I was like, that's not real. Like, and I hate saying that because I don't have enough integrity to be like, hey, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
but I notice it. And when I do notice it, I'm like, oh fuck, man, that sucks. But what can you do? Let me ask you this. Is
Mhm.
3 Days Grace a 2000s band? Would you consider them a 2000s band or a 2010s band? I would say more
Uh,
2000s, right?
yeah, but yeah, they would have to be.
One
'Cause,
of
I
the
mean,
better one of the
I
better
was
2000s rock bands, right?
yeah. I'm still torn between that though. I think
When
it
did
depends.
I Hate Everything About You come out? That's
That was early 2000s.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It had to have been.
Yeah.
And then doom, 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 boom. The world will never be what I
Yeah.
expected. That's 2000s, right? Or is that 2010s? If I don't belong,
I know the song, but I'm trying
who
to get to
would
the
have
chorus in my
guessed
head.
it? That's a great song.
Yeah.
Um,
That whole album rocks. That 1X album. That is a
is that
really
what
good
that's
album.
from? Or I'm talking the one that I really like is the one that didn't like blow up for them so much is Life Starts Now. I think it's
Yes.
so good. I think it's so good.
Yes.
And that dude's voice on that record is exactly what I'm talking about, where it's like he does some shit. I'm like, dude, you can't. I don't care who you are. You can't recreate that. So they're one of the better ones of the 2000s. Who do you think are what are some of the bad songs of the 2000s? Or do you even think like this?
Bad songs of the 2000s.
Do you like or not 311, Finger 11?
What did they have? Two songs? Like Paralyzer was one of them,
And
which I liked that song.
they had
One
the
thing.
ballad. Yeah.
One thing.
Yeah.
Which are two completely different,
Not even the same band.
not even close to the
Yeah.
same.
Both good songs. Both good
Yeah.
songs. And the
Yeah.
the record that One Thing is on is way better than what that song represents. And that's a great song. They had a song that came out before One Thing, like it wasn't the first single from that, and I actually have it. I have purchased it, and it didn't do anything for them.
Okay.
So One Thing was the thing that like blew them up, and then Paralyzer came out, and people were like, "Oh my god." Do you consider that to be a good or bad song of the 2000s?
I mean, me personally, I liked it.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, it's all preference, right?
I don't know. Not to some people. Good Times is the name of the song.
Okay.
It's from that album with One Thing. It came out in
Okay.
2003. Holy shit.
The early 2000s are getting farther and farther away from us, Patrick.
Dude. Seems like yesterday. Well, there are some
I,
people
I,
that
I just seen something the other day that on Facebook, I think, that said, it still every time somebody says 30 years ago, I'm thinking, yeah, 1970. And it's like,
always,
no. Yeah.
always. That's how I think. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so there are people who think there are bad songs in the 2000s. How do you feel about the band Hinder?
I'm not gonna lie, I liked them in the beginning, like when it first came out, but that Lips of an Angel song was played 100 million times on all the radios, and it just it went downhill for me. And then now that I've gotten more into music since then, and if I listen to the song, I'm like, his voice is just not good either.
I'm not going to say that's a good or a bad song, but that's one of the cringiest songs when it comes to lyrics.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah.
But I remember when that record came out, they were one of the few rock bands of whatever year that came out to like actually go platinum. Which
Oh
is a pretty,
really?
I think it was them and like Disturbed maybe had a record come out that year. Yeah, man.
Dang.
So you can hate. Again, it's like what I said about Imagine Dragons. You can hate if you want, but
Yeah.
you didn't write Lips of an Angel.
Right. Which, I mean, I think every genre took over that song too, right? Didn't every genre play that
Oh,
song?
you mean like top 40 and
like country, like, a
country?
country musician did the song, and I'm pretty sure like every genre picked it up at some
Well,
point.
I can guarantee you that it got played on a loop in Hollister for a good year and a half. And I've never been inside of a Hollister, but I can guarantee you it got played in a Hollister. What does our friend Finn McKenty think about the song?
Terrible.
He doesn't like it.
No, on top of the fact that
Shocking.
as you said, the lyrics are completely cringy.
Does he actually say that?
Yes, he does.
Let's hear what he has to say.
2005 or so, I guess flared, bootcut jeans were still cool for guys back. Honey, why you calling me? It sounds like somebody who like punctured a lung in a thriller movie when the bad guy shoots the good guy cop, like the sidekick cop, and he's like on his dying breath and like, who did this? Stay with me, Max. Tell me who did this to you. And he's like, lips of an angel. Like he's forcing out his last breath. That's the first problem. The second problem is, I don't know if you've ever paid attention to the lyrics to this song, but it's about a guy cheating and he's upset because his side piece is calling him while his main bitch is in the other room. It's kind of hard to talk right now. It's kind of hard to talk right now.
Is he writing lyrics
Girls
as
in
he's
the
doing
next
Looks
this?
like it, yeah.
That's the best.
But anyway, so I guess everybody knows that song, or they had to have heard it. I'm trying to think.
Tom Waits. Tom Waits is the dude I'm thinking of with the gravelly voice. Not Jeff Buckley. I don't know why I said Jeff Buckley. Tom Waits.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
He sounds like a real man. It's not real. Like it's anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when that song came out, hearing that voice, and I was like, Jesus, bro, a little bit too much, huh? Let's downplay that a little bit. No, but hey, man, I haven't sold 1 million records, so what the fuck do I know?
Right. So he had a few other ones. So like Afro Man was one of the worst songs of the 2000s.
I mean, fine.
It was just a dumb song, I guess.
It's a gimmick song. I'm not a big fan of gimmick songs. I'm not gonna lie. But
what about
that one I'm okay with.
What about Who Let the Dogs Out?
I mean, no. I'll tell you who's a gimmick band that I can't stand.
Okay.
And I guarantee you like them. I cannot stand the band Cake.
They got a few that I'm okay with. I can't sit down and listen to a whole record, but
them and Weezer, just forget it.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Weezer.
Just forget it. And I know that's just crazy of me to say because Weezer has classic albums, but no, I'm good.
Another thing that they
before you say that, something that pissed me off. So for my son's birthday, someone got him a history of rock book, which I read to him every day. Every morning I pick it up. I'm like, hey, bud, you want to read this book? He runs over to me, sits in my lap, and we read it. We've read it 1,000 times at this point. But in the book, so it talks about, blues and jazz gave birth to rock. And then there was Beatlemania and blah, blah, blah. Talks about Queen and AC/DC and Nirvana and Pearl Jam. And then it goes, and then Weezer dressed like Buddy Holly and their cruises were a ball. And who knew that the White Stripes weren't brother and sister after all? Every time I read that part to him, I go, this is all bullshit, dude. I say that every time. And my wife goes, do you have to say that every time? I'm like, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Don't put Weezer and the White Stripes in a rock and roll book. How dare you?
I have a question about that. Okay. Do I know the person that gave you this book?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe not. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Why? Because a person who was at that birthday party also gave that same book to my son when he was born.
Oh, then definitely not. Definitely not. No.
I was wondering. Okay. All right.
So you know the book I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it sucks. Fuck that. And then in the last page where it talks about how like people think most greats are in the sky, and then like it's a kid on a bed like listening to music. What are the posters on the wall? Do you know?
I don't remember. I've only looked at the book a couple of times.
Imagine Dragons, Muse, and Kings of Leon. And then it says in rock and roll will never ever die, you know.
Isn't Kings of Leon the band that St. Louis hates? Because the lead singer,
yeah, because
remember when
the
lead singer got pooped on by a bird and he
a
quit?
pigeon shit on him and he quit. It also was 120 degrees, but yeah. And then the next night, Tom Petty played for like 4 hours.
Oh, really?
That didn't help their cause. Yeah.
Nice. Huh.
Yeah.
But no, what I was going to say is they said he was talking about Cisco and the Thong song that came out in the early 2000s also, and how terrible of a song that was. Did you know that he doesn't get any royalties off that song?
Doesn't surprise me one bit.
Do you know why?
Please tell me.
Because that one small part in the song where he says "Live and La Vida Loca."
Wait, what?
Yeah. Finn McKenty even talked about it in the video. He lost all royalties because of that. So I don't know. Is that kind of one of those bum 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 bada bum bum?
Ding 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 ding. Theirs goes. I don't know. It must be. It must be one of those similar situations. That sucks.
Yeah.
And also, fuck Ricky Martin. Didn't something just happen with him?
Something about his nephew or something, right?
Did someone die? Maybe I shouldn't have said fuck Ricky Martin.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about that. I thought, like, didn't he have a nephew or something that was claiming sexual abuse against him?
Fuck Ricky Martin.
Google that. I'm pretty sure.
I got to.
Also, I like that little bracelet you got around your microphone. That's cute.
It's holding it there. Leave me alone. Can you see it? Oh, you can't see it now. Yeah. Damn. It's actually a hair tie. I know this is terrible.
Okay. I didn't know if it was that or like a mosquito repellent thing.
We'll just call it that.
Okay.
Ricky Martin on the painful incest allegations made by his nephew. I'm not even going to read that.
Jesus.
That is so gross.
I just hate that word in
general.
Yeah,
incest. That is just one that it just hits you, right?
Yikes.
Just digs in your.
Didn't like it.
What did you just talk about? You said Cisco. Dude, I didn't like that Thong song. And I thought Cisco was a little bit goofy when that came out. Like, and not because of the song or anything that happened with the song, but he won like an MTV Video Music Award for that. And he was with the girl who starred in the movie Players Club, which something tells me you haven't seen that.
No.
I think you should.
Okay.
But I'll give you a quick. The Players Club is about a girl who is a stripper who is trying to make a better life for herself. And the strip club is owned by Bernie Mac, one of his best roles ever. Super funny. It's owned by Bernie Mac, but he owes people money and people come and try to like rob the place. And then there's like Ice Cube is in it. He's a gangster. And then it's a whole thing. So you just got to watch it. But the girl in the movie who stars in the movie went to the Video Music Awards with him, right? As his date. And like when he won the award, like he got up and she was trying to like congratulate him and like love on him. And he just kind of like walked away. I was like, bro, do you see her right now? Like, what are you doing? I just remember that being a thing when it happened. This is how old I am.
I feel like Cisco was on TRL.
Oh, a ton of times.
He had to have been, right?
But let me tell you something, dude. The group he was in before he went solo is the shit and will always be the shit.
I know nothing about it.
Drew Hill. It is some of the best 90s R&B. They have some of the best 90s R&B songs ever. You need to check them out.
Okay.
But yeah, that was they were the shit. Which I always thought I thought it was odd because when the Thong song came out, I was like, oh, he's cashing in. Like, this is not, because he was like the leading man, kind of. He was the leading man in Drew Hill. Like, you know, like a Boys to Men type group. Mm-hmm. And he was like their front man, I guess. So when he went solo, I remember people going like, oh shit, what is this going to sound like? And then Thong song came in like, oh, okay. Like, yeah. He's like, fuck it. Fuck it. which fine. Do you, man? Like, that's good.
Was that
Whatever.
at the height of like Z1077 days?
Thong Song?
Yeah.
That was the height of TRL days for sure.
You know what station I'm talking about though? The St. Louis radio station Z1077.
I listen to it sometimes.
Still, or you used to?
Listen to it today, probably. Yeah.
It's still a thing.
Z1077?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Really?
Every city has to have a top 40 station. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I like pop music. I listen to it sometimes.
Yeah, I didn't even know if they still did pop.
No, that's what it is. It's top 40.
It's been like 15 years since I tried to listen to Z1077.
Turn it on. You'll hear the Harry Styles song I was trying to tell you about. You hear
Jeez, that's what watermelon something or another.
dude. No, as it was. I don't know the watermelon song. I don't even know what that is.
I don't even know why I remember watermelon.
Huh?
I don't even know why I remember watermelon.
I think it was called the watermelon song. Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't know.
I've never heard it. I don't know what that is. What were some of the other ones on the list? You said Afro Man and then Cisco, and what was somebody else?
303, which
I agree with him 100% on that one.
Oh, really? So he was the opposite. So what these were I think these were fan submitted terrible.
He likes
songs,
303.
He talks to them. Yeah, he actually was a big fan of 303, and he actually played like a newer song by them and stuff. He said he thinks they're outstanding. Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. They're a gimmick band.
I mean, they were huge.
Oh, I understand. I got to watch them play a Warped Tour for 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, I understand.
How's a live performance by them? Is it entertaining?
Not good. No, it's not good. It's nonsense, but kids don't care.
You know who, and maybe I just didn't get it, and I can't remember if it was Point Fest or what, but a guy that a lot of people really like, but I just didn't I didn't get the live performance is Andrew WK. I mean, I don't know.
When did you see him?
I don't know. I think it was at a Point Fest because it was on a side stage.
So then it would have been later. It would have been after.
This was probably like, I don't know, five years ago, maybe.
Okay.
Like
if you had seen him initially, I think you would have felt differently, but also you would have been a toddler when that happened. So
apparently, where did I hear this recently? Heard something like there's a conspiracy theory about him that it's not the real Andrew WK anymore. Like it's a different guy.
I don't know. Yeah, okay, fine. Do we lose either way? Do any of us suffer either way? I don't think it matters.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So the list that you're talking about. So I want to say that I saw a different version of it, and unfortunately the only one I remember is he talks about how shitty At the Drive-In was. As he played the One Arm Scissor video, and man, I just remember me personally and a group of my friends. Actually, I want to say the people I was in a band with, when that came out, we fucking flipped out. We were like, holy shit, what is this? But the way that he explained it, he was like, the only way that you would have liked this back when it came out in 2000, whatever, is you were young enough to have been influenced by something new that wasn't what you were hearing at the time. And I'm paraphrasing that, but that's exactly what that band and that song was. So I think it was just sort of like a. But I was listening to shit like that.
Was it like the start of a new genre, kind of?
No, it wasn't the start. Well, that's what I was just about to say. I think I was listening to shit like that, but they did it in such a, for me, in more of a palatable way than some of the bands I was listening to that were doing something similar. But yeah, I mean, when you go back and listen to some of it, you're like, yeah, it's not great. Like, but I think it's like the guitars are meant to be a little bit out of tune. The vocals are meant to be a little bit pitchy, gimmicky. I guess you could call that gimmicky, but I don't know. They have great on that record though. Relationship of Command. That fucking great songs on that record. But anyway, I don't know.
But yeah. So to finish up, so we've got O-Town. I can't remember what the song was that they chose.
'Cause I want it all.
let's see, Black Eyed Peas, I Got a Feeling.
That's a
And
terrible
then,
song. I agree with him.
And then Gwen Stefani and Buck Cherry.
Keep on dancing. Band. Wait, that's No Doubt. What's the Gwen
Yes.
Stefani song? I hate that song.
I don't remember, but it was huge. Yeah, Holla That Girl.
Oh, yeah,
That's
I'm with
it.
him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. How about Buck Cherry? You're a big Buck Cherry fan, right?
love Buck Cherry. I've never had any problems with those guys. Love them.
I don't. Have you told? You haven't
What's
told
the song? Is the song Crazy
Buck Cherry
Bitch?
story, have you? Yeah. You haven't told a Buck Cherry story, have you?
I can't.
You can't?
Nope.
Okay.
It would incriminate too many people. The story, so I can't.
Okay.
I didn't sign anything, but I've made a promise
Gotcha.
that I won't talk about
I know
it.
I know the last concert that me and you both went to together, or we were at together. There was I'm not going to mention his name because I don't know if he wants to be mentioned either.
Please do.
But I can't. There was
Yeah, you can.
Another person who is very big in the St. Louis music scene and has been for years and years and years, who did not have anything good to say about Buck Cherry also.
I don't remember this.
I don't know if you were there when I had the conversation with him. I don't think you were.
You had the conversation with who? The person who's big in the scene?
Yes. Who had nothing good to say about Buck Cherry.
Most people don't.
Is it that bad?
I don't know. Could
I
be.
mean, he seems like an odd dude. I will
Well,
say
okay,
that
yeah.
sure.
By the way, I'm just talking about the lead singer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure the person who you were talking to probably was talking about him as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's my bad. I shouldn't have said the whole band when I'm talking about.
Well,
one
I didn't
person,
mean the whole band. I meant the singer, and I didn't specify. Yeah, I've heard he's had many run-ins with people, but whatever. The O-Town song.
Another song? Oh, I don't know what the O-Town song was. I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. I went down a boy band rabbit hole again.
Oh, who did we land on?
I've had New Kids on the Block stuck in my head for over 24 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of videos and pictures from the Backstreet Boys concert. No one seemed disappointed.
That could be how it started. But I didn't search Backstreet Boys. I started with because someone commented and I commented back being like, they basically were like, this is a group that I don't remember the words they used, but basically like listened to a lot when I was a young kid. So this is like so nostalgic for me, seeing them and hearing them sound so good, whatever. And I said, oh, that's Boys to Men for me. And then I just went down this thing. I've had Please Don't Go Girl by New Kids on the Block stuck in my head for so long. It's coming up on 48 hours. It's pretty terrible. I've tried to get it out of my head too. I've listened to so much other shit. I thought Hands Like Houses had me today, and they didn't. But my wife was like, I don't even know what that song is, and you're weird. And I was like, okay, fine.
Do you remember Blackstreet?
Of course. Yeah, dude.
What was their big song?
No Diggity.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who had who was the guy? They were in the was it the breakdancing movies? Who sang Bump Bump Bump? You know what I'm talking about? Let me see that sexy body go bump bump bump. Oh, Omarion or
yeah, I see him. Yeah, I don't know. That's
you know who I'm talking about though, right? What was the
I mean,
band?
I know who Omarion is. That could have been his song. Are you wait, breakdancing movies? Are you talking about like Step Up or something like that?
No, what's the other ones?
You Got Served?
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
I am so ashamed of everything about myself. But you know what? I'm not.
No.
Bump Bump Bump. I mean, it's probably Omarion. That's way after. We'll call it my time. Oh, that's B2K, which Omarion was in.
Okay, so I was right. I was I was
That's-
glad that I wasn't just like
that came
way
out
off.
in 2002.
Okay.
That's crazy. 30 years ago.
Yeah. Dude, you know what? Ever since it was an episode or two ago, we talked about Nappy Roots and that song, All Nah or Hell Nah or whatever it's called. I've listened to that song 1,000 times.
The one with
I
Marcos
really
from
like
POD.
I really like I really like the rock version of it. I'm not gonna lie.
They're both good. I mean, I don't like the rock
Yeah.
version as much as I do the original, but no, they're both
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Do you know the group Grits?
No.
Okay. So if you like Nappy Roots, you need to go check out Grits.
Okay.
Let me give you a good song to start with, just so so you can get, so you can get in.
Okay.
What's it called? I got it right here. Hold on. It is called Ooh Ah. Check out the song Ooh Ah, My Life Be Like by Grits. I guarantee you'll like it.
Your song from Nappy Roots was Aw Naw. And your song from this one is Ooh Ah.
Southern hip hop, dude.
I like it. Well,
So-
regardless, man, we have football this week. It's Hall of Fame game, but it's still. But real quick, explain that to me. It's Jacksonville against the Raiders. How is that a Hall of Fame game? I don't understand.
I don't fucking know. I don't watch football this early. It's not the season to me.
Yeah. Okay.
But college football is real close, which I can't fucking wait for.
Yeah.
Real close.
I need to get more into college football.
You really do. I don't know how you're not. Like it's bizarre.
I don't know. It just never was.
When people, and I understand, like, I understand the comparisons that people make, but the rivalries in college football and the energy week in and week out is so fucking awesome, dude. And you don't have to be like, don't get me wrong, I'll watch two really bad NFL teams play, but I also won't be paying attention for a lot of the time. Right?
Yeah.
And when I say that, I mean two teams that I don't follow. But dude, if you give me a rivalry game from a different conference, one of which who I don't have teams that I'm invested in, that I'll watch and I'll be invested. Like I'll watch Oklahoma play Texas, and I'll be the whole game I'll be watching. I'll watch fucking Washington play USC. It's just fun, man. I don't know. You need to get into it.
I do. I respect anybody like you who, when I talk about an NFL player that I've been following for however long, and they're like, oh yeah, they went to Texas Tech, and just being able to spout off stuff about when they were in college and stuff. I'm like, they were in college like 9 years ago. How do you know where, like what school they came from and all that kind of stuff? I've been trying to get more into it.
Because I feel like in college, with college sports, the big ones anyway, mainly basketball and football, those kids that go to those games and those people that go to those games, they put their life on pause.
Yeah.
While those games are happening. Whereas with professional sports, most of the time, it's recreationally something that you're doing to have a good time, to involve the family, to get away from the family. But with college sports, like you that consumes you. The moment consumes you. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Probably a bad thing. But nonetheless, it makes it cool. Get into Ohio State this year. Why don't you just join me?
Of course, yeah. Of course you
are. I mean, they're projected to win the national title by most people. So
yeah. I wonder if it changes with college players being able to make money now. Like I wonder if, I'm sure the rivalries, aren't going to get any less competitive or anything like that. But I don't know. I guess I wonder if the whole attitude towards players making money is going to change anything in college.
I mean, it's already stopped. Like people sit out bowl games now. They don't, and I think at first I didn't like it. This is going back like 6 years, but now I'm like, yeah, fucking sit out. Fuck it. Yeah. I mean, if you're playing for the national championship, it's a little bit different than playing the fucking, Sun Chips fucking chip bowl.
Yeah.
In Albuquerque,
right.
I could have thought of a better bowl name than that.
I made that
up for sure. But there are some where you're like, Yeah, we're playing in the New Era Pinstripes Bowl. It's like, okay, who gives a fuck?
Right.
You know, if I'm projected to be a top 10 NFL pick, I'm not playing in the New Era Pinstripes Bowl.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So I get it. At first I didn't like it. And I think it was mainly because I think the first year that it got like it was someone big, and I don't remember who it was. I just remember being like, man, it brought up the question, like, how many times this season did that guy take it easy, which could have potentially cost his team, which is a shitty way of thinking, and like, fuck me for even thinking that. But I think a lot of people were feeling that way. But I think like you start to realize like, oh wait, he's not the only one. There are several guys on the field, I'm using air quotes, taking it easy.
That I would think that crosses sports and everything, like
more so in
throughout.
football, man. You just because you can get hurt, you know.
Yeah.
Way more. Well, you see it in basketball now a little bit. Like, well, I think we talked about it. Like, if you're like, I don't know, you play for Kentucky, for instance, you're a one and doneer. You're projected to be a top 5 pick in the NBA. Kentucky's a fucking, I don't know, a 3 seed, right? Do you really play hard in that first game?
Right.
Do you really play hard in the second round?
Right.
All right, now we're in the Sweet 16. We're playing. Yeah, I don't know. It's shitty to think that way, but I mean, fuck it. I don't blame these guys. Think of how much money they bring in for these fucking schools and for these conferences. Forget the schools. Think about the conferences. Mm-hmm. You know, if a conference gets so many teams to a bowl game in football, they get so much money. You know,
from who? Who does that money come from?
The NCAA.
Oh, okay.
Well, them and whatever their governing bodies are outside of whatever, but I don't know. It's very boring to me. Like when I tried to read the fine print on that one time, and I was like, I don't fucking care. I'm just gonna watch. I'm just gonna watch and love it. You know, like I'm gonna root for my team, and after I'm done watching them, I'll watch the next fucking big game that's on Saturday. You know, I love college football Saturdays, dude. You have to come over one of these Saturdays when Ohio State's playing at like noon, and then afterwards we can watch fucking Florida and Alabama play, or like Florida and Arkansas play, or Florida and Georgia. It'll be cool. It's so much fun. I really can't believe that you haven't gotten into it. So you never watched like Mizzou play or like anybody?
Not really. I mean, Mizzou more than anybody else, but not really.
And they suck.
I just never really had anybody around me that did. So it wasn't my thing. My dad always watched the NFL growing up, so that's where I got that from. And that's just kind of.
Yeah, see, I grew up around college football more so than pro, but keep in mind, I didn't have a pro team in St. Louis when I was in my prime years of like watching football. And so, you know, just is what it is.
Yeah.
Now I rooted for a pro team, but I didn't have one in town. So it made it easier for me to, you get what I'm saying. Let's get out of here.
All right. And we're out.
Let's go back and get some action.